Okay, so in this video, we're going to walk through how to export your story in the field and send it back to the station so that it'll go in the system, we can get it on the air. So as you see, I've got a story here. Here we have a sequence that I've just dropped in from another one of our reporters. And what you're going to want to do is make sure you have everything here highlighted, make sure this is on top, all this is turned on. And then what you're going to want to do is go up here to your sequence and you're going to right click on the sequence. You're going to go to Output, Export to File. When you click that, this window pops up. In here on the left side, you want to hit Desktop because we want to export it to the desktop because it's going to be easier to find when we export from there. Down here in the drop-down menu, you're going to have two options. You can select MXF AVCI 50 or you can select HDV. I'm going to export it as an HDV and I'll explain why. There's two, both have benefits and both have drawbacks. The first and foremost is HDV is easier to view and it's half the file size. So it's 25 megabits per second. So, and it's really good quality, which means because it's half the bit rate, it's going to transfer faster from the field through your hotspot or whatever signal you're using. The MXF is probably a better quality. It's AVC Intra 50, which is what our native is at the station. However, it's going to be 50 megabits, which is twice the size. And really, unless you have like a blazing fast connection, my suggestion is sticking with the HDV. So once we have that, we are going to name our story, if it isn't already named, and we'll call this Snow Impact Test, and then my initials, MEJ, and you always want to put your initials on there, but normally this will be, we'll add, let's see, test PKG for package. You want to designate, is it VO, is it a package, is it a SOT? And then also one of the things you want to look at is down here in the timeline, you want to make sure that you're in stereo. You're not sending it back in mono, because in mono it's mixed down, and then we won't have access to adjust tracks if there's an issue. So you want to send it in stereo. So once we have it named, once we have HDV selected, we're going to, and desktop, we're going to click Save. So now we have exported to the desktop. So afterwards, we've exported our story and we're done. So now we can close AVID. Okay, so now we're out of AVID, so now we want to open up FileZilla. It should be on your bar down here as FZ, or it's also an icon here, right here, FileZilla. So let's double click that, and it's always going to ask you to install a new version. You don't have to, just click Close. And now when you show up to this window, let's talk about the layout for just a second. The top window here, once we connect, this will show our connectivity. You don't really need to know a lot about that. This left side is your computer or your laptop. And so you have on the left side here the drop down tree, and if you scroll all the way up you'll see the C drive. And what you want to find is desktop, and you want to click on that. Down below the second window in the bottom left, this is actually your desktop, and this is all the different stuff that's on your desktop. And if you look down here you'll see we have our Snow Impact Test Package MEJ.m2t. This is our HDV package right here. Now if we wanted to go on the desktop and double click and watch this, we could. It's right here, but we're not going to do that right now. And so now what we need to do is we need to connect to the station's FTP server, which will be located on this side, so we can send our story. Now up here in the top left, you're going to get this little down arrow. It's a drop-down menu, Open Site Manager. When you open that, you're going to have two options. Here you'll see it says News 9 Internal. On your laptop in the field there will be News 9 Internal or News 9 External. The difference being you would select the internal if you're inside the station and you're connected to our internal network. When you're outside of the station, you're going to select News 9 External. There are some differences to the logins, so you need to make sure you select the correct one. Because I'm inside the building, I've only got the option for News 9 Internal, so I'm going to click that. And you'll notice that it quickly connected, and over here on the right side you've got 4 different folders. The chat temp we never use. The field folder, if I click on that, you'll see a whole bunch of MXF WAV files, things like that. What this is this is where editors will put video that they are sending for reporters or MMJs in the field. So if you ask an editor, hey, I need some video of empty courtroom, they will slap some together, export it, and they will put it in this folder. And all you would do is literally click, and I'm not going to do it, but click and drag that file to the desktop, and it will copy directly onto your computer, and then you can pull it into AVID and use it. But when we're sending to the station, we're not using this folder. This is just for us to get video in the field from an editor. Instead, up here we have two folders, 2KOTV and 2KWTV. This, you select whichever station you're sending to. In this case, we're going to select KWTV. You'll notice there's only one story in here. The system is set up so that after you've copied and sent your video, it automatically goes into what we call flip, which is a converter that sends it converts the original file and sends it into AVID's interplay system or production management window, or whatever it might be called at the time. AVID changes the name occasionally with updates, so it could be called anything. But anyway, it's going to send your story directly into the feeds drive in AVID so an editor can grab it and send it to the show. So right now, somebody has sent in their 4 o'clock vaccine update. This is ECR, this is Erica. So once this is done converting, this is going to disappear out of here. So we want to send our story over. So we're going to go over here to the left side to the desktop, and you see Snow Impact Test Package MEJ. I'm going to grab that, highlight it, left click and hold, and I'm going to drag it over to this window. And on the bottom, you see this progress window. It's actually sending, and because we're inside the station, it's pretty quick. And so there we go. And if you look over here, Erica's story disappeared because it's been converted. Now ours is getting converted right now in the KWTV folder. If you were to send it to Tulsa to KOTV, you would just select their folder and do the exact same thing. Sometimes you'll need to do a version for Tulsa, which is a separate look live, and you'll need to send to them, and that's how you do it. Once it's sent, you're done. You can close FileZilla. And then if we open AVID, okay, so we're logged back into AVID. Here's our story that we had exported. But now we want to find it after we've sent it to the show. So if you're an editor inside the building, how do you find the video? Well, this window, the production management window, which you should be familiar with. I'll close a few of these searches out that I don't need. Okay, so production management window, on the left side tree, you go to OKC PME, incoming media, feeds. And then we're going to search by creation date. So the newest pops up first, and we're just going to refresh. And so now look, it's already it's already converted. So right here, Snow Impact Test Package MEJ. If I double click that, it loads in my source window. And there's the package right there, which is, in this case, was a look-like VOSOT. So the editors would grab this, put it in a timeline, and send it to the show. And that's how you get your video back to the station and sent in from the field if you're an MMJ or a photographer.